What's going on YouTube? It is Avery LR32 here, bringing you guys a new deck profile. I wouldn't say it's a meta deck, as you can tell obviously. I would say that this is a rogue deck profile. Let me fix this here. Apologize. Hold on one sec. Alright, I am back, and I apologize for that. I had to fix my microphone. As I was saying, this is actually going to be a rogue deck profile, and it's of Evil Heroes for 2012. Would I say to take this to a regional YCS and expect to do well? God, no. Absolutely not. Would I say maybe take it to locals, maybe perfect it a little bit, and you might top it locals? Yeah, maybe. Anyways, we're going to start off with the deck list here. For the monsters, you have 2 Evil Hero Malicious Edge, 1 Gores, 1 Big Piece Golem, 1 Elemental Hero Stratos, 1 Ocean, 1 Diamond Dude, 1 Evil Hero Infernal Prodigy, 2 Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, 1 Slate Warrior, 1 Evil Hero Infernal Gainer, 1 Sangan, 1 Prisma, 1 Morphing Jar, 2 Elemental Hero Burstinatrix, 1 Sparkman, 1 Avion, and 1 Clayman. And you guys are probably wondering, what in God's name is this kind of monster lineup? But just hear me out for a second, alright? Let me explain. Malicious Edge, he's kind of like your Elemental Hero Blade Edge of the deck. If your opponent controls a monster, then you can tribute summon him with 1 tribute, and he does piercing damage whenever he attacks a defensive monster. Gores, he's just a staple. Big Piece Golem, he's a Cyber Dragon, except if your opponent controls a monster and you control none, you normal summon him. Stratos helps you get to your Prisma, any of your Evil Heroes, or even any of your Elemental Heroes here, or your Diamond Dude if need be. Ocean, because return a hero monster, so you can return your Evil Heroes, your Infernal Gainer, anything that you might need. Diamond Dude, he goes hand in hand with Dark Fusion, Dark Calling, and all of your other normal spells, just because you can drop Diamond Dude, activate the effect, send Dark Fusion or something like that to the graveyard, and then use the effect next turn. Dark Hex Sealed Fusion, mostly just because of Dark Gaia. Same thing with Big Piece Golem, and that's pretty much just the reason why. Sangan just to help with the searches. Slate Warrior, just another fiend, and he's got a pretty decent flip effect. Morphing Jar, because you can get dead hands, and then the Elemental Hero is just because of the fusions. For the spells, you run 3 Dark Fusion and 3 Dark Calling, basically your win condition. Without Dark Fusions and Dark Callings, you're pretty much screwed. Emergency Call, get any of your Elemental Heroes, either Stratos, Ocean, Prisma, or Burstentrix, Sparkman, Avion, or Clayman. 1 Swords, because you want to be able to stall out to keep your monster presence on board till you can be able to either use Dark Fusion or Dark Calling to get your giant beaters out on the field. Attack in 1 Gold Sark. The reason why I'm using Gold Sarcophagus is because you want to be able to get to Dark Fusion and Dark Calling, or whatever it is that you need, as soon as possible. Pot of Duality slows down this deck a little bit too much, so it wouldn't go well enough with your special summoning. It would slow down the special summoning by a turn. Attack in 1 Hand Destruction. Why? Because it pisses off your opponent, especially if they're running Dark Worlds, because then they don't get their Dark Worlds effects. And then you just get to pitch 2 cards with Grave. So say you have a Malicious Edge and a Big Piece Golem, activate Hand Destruction, pitch both of those guys, draw 2, use Dark Calling, get out of Dark Gaia. Heavy Storm, staple. Lightning Vortex, it's just another way to be able to help pitch your materials to the graveyard for Dark Calling, and it just helps get rid of monster destruction. Rhoda, because you run Stratos, Prisma, E-Heroes, a bunch of level 4s you can get to. Monsterborn, pretty self-explanatory. Mirror Force, Threatening Roar, Draining Shield, 1 of Geometrio, 1 Divine Wrath. Mirror Force is a staple, Threatening Roar just because of good stall. Draining Shield, your life points can get low, so you want to be able to help increase them. You could switch this out for Magic Cylinder, I was actually thinking about that. 1 of Geometrio. Why am I using Geometrio? Geometrio because it helps lock up your opponent's monster zones, and with Exceeds out right now, you really don't see a lot of decks that synchro, and it's also another way for Malicious Edge to do some piercing, and not only that, they have 1,000 defense points, so if Malicious Edge attacks a token, they'll take 16 plus another 300 because of the token's effect. Divine Wrath, because like I said, the discarding ability with this is very good. You can be able to pitch your materials to the graveyard for Dark Calling, and it also be able to negate a monster effect. And with Priority being gone, that just helps out more. For the extra deck, you run Malicious Fiend. He's Malicious Edge and a level 6 or higher Fiend type monster. So basically either another Malicious Edge or a Gores or, whatever. And what he does is, he can't be special except by Dark Fusion, obviously. During your opponent's battle phase, all monsters they control change to face-up attack mode, and each monster they control must attack this card if able. So a good way to lock up your opponent, and he's 3,500, which is nice. Inferno Wing. He's mixed with Avion and Percentrix. He does the same thing as Flame Wingman, except he does piercing, and whenever he destroys a monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, is that it? Yeah, when this card destroys a monster by battle, sends it to the grave, and inflicts damage to your opponent equal to the monster's stats, whichever is higher. So if I say I blow up a Clayman, you'll take 100 because he's at 2,100, and then you'll take another 2,000 because his defense points are higher than his attack. Infernal Sniper, Clayman, and Percentrix, pretty much an on-crack Rampart Blaster. During your opponent's standby phase, if he's in face-up defense mode, inflict 1,000 damage to him. Lightning Golem, an on-crack Thunder Giant. You don't have to pitch a card to use his effect. Just once per turn, you destroy a monster on either side of the field. And then the boss monster of all the evil heroes, Evil Hero Dark Gaia. We all know what this guy does. The Big Bang mofo of the deck. Pretty much a Fiend-type monster and a Rock type. You all know what he does. Malicious Edge and Big Piece Golem makes his attack automatically 4,700 and 0 defense because it doesn't count for the defense. He basically, let's say if I attack your, let's say Marshmallow, it's going to go into attack mode and you're going to take a crap ton of damage. And Wild Cyclone, that's Avion and Wildheart. I have not yet made this guy just because, you know, obviously I don't run Wildheart, but you have Dark Hex Sealed Fusion in here for a reason, not just because of Dark Gaia, but also because of Wild Cyclone. If he attacks, your opponent can't use any spells or traps at the end of the damage step, and when he inflicts battle damage to your opponent, it destroys all set spell and trap cards on the field. That's the one bad thing about Wild Cyclone, is that the cards have to be set. They can't just be face up. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this rogue deck profile. If you did, please leave it a like. It really helps me out a lot. Share this with your grandparents, your gypsy across the road, or the old bag that lives on, I don't know, that lives in your neighborhood. I don't know. You know, the old hobo. I don't know. But anyways, please share this with people. Please get them to subscribe. It really helps me out tremendously. And as you can see, this deck doesn't really cost a lot to make either. I mean, what's the highest thing? Gores, which you can easily pull. And then, like, all this other stuff's just easy to pick up. You know, like, most of this stuff is either common or rare or, you know, dual terminal. Or, you know, in my case, I've got a common, dual terminal, and a hollow of this guy. And then, you know, this stuff is like all like commons, rares, and stuff. So it's a good deck. I mean, it's a good OTKing deck. I wouldn't take it to a YCS or regional just because, you know, like I said, the deck can easily be beat out by Rabbit. If they first turn Rabbit you into Logia and your only choice is to use Dark Fusion and or Dark Calling, you're kind of screwed. But this deck was very good back in Teledad format. It actually topped a couple of events, if I'm correct. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it did top something. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys next time, and goodbye.